Welcome to another video of HTML, CSS and JavaScript. This is Code Essentials KE, and today we're going to build an accordion. So what is an accordion? An accordion is a vertically stacked list of items such as labels or thumbnails. Each item can be expanded or stretched to reveal the content associated with that item. An accordions are useful when you want to toggle between hiding and showing large amount of content. So without wasting much time, let's jump right into it. Now, in my body section, I have an H1, and an H1 has a text called accordion example. Let us see in the browser, or let us view in the browser and see what we have. Now, as you can see, we have an H1 with accordion example. Now let's go back to our VS Code and try to build this accordion and see what actually an accordion is. So below the H1, we can have a button. And that button is going to have a class. We can give it a name of accordion, class of accordion, that way. So that is our button. And now let's give a name to our button. We can call it, let's call it Nairobi. So Nairobi is the name of our button. And below that, below the button, we can have a div. Let's have a div, and this div is going to take a class of panel. You can give it any name you want, but for me, I'm just going to label it panel. Then under this div, we are going to have a paragraph to describe our button. So the paragraph, let's say we want to describe this button, Nairobi. We can say Nairobi is the capital city. Nairobi is the capital city of Kenya. Nairobi is the capital city of Kenya, and it is located in the central region of the country. That way. So this paragraph describes our button, which is Nairobi. So under the button, we have a div of class panel, then a paragraph that says Nairobi is the capital city of Kenya, and it is located in the central region of Kenya. So we can proceed to add other properties. Now we can copy this, the whole of this button. So Ctrl C or Command C, then let's paste it several times. Ctrl V, then Ctrl V. Then our second button, let's call it Cairo. And we say Cairo is the capital city of Egypt, and it is located in the central region of the country. Then our third button is going to have Abuja. Then we say Abuja is the capital city of Nigeria. So Abuja is the capital city of Nigeria, and it is located in the central region of the country. So let's reload this in our browser and see. Now you can see we have our buttons with their description. I can zoom this a bit so that you can see. Hope you can see that. So you can see we have our H1 according to example, then a button, Nairobi, then a description. Nairobi is the capital city of Kenya and it's located in the central region of the country. Then Cairo, sorry, Cairo is the capital city of Egypt and it is located in the central region of the country. Then Abuja is the capital city of Nigeria and it's located in the central region of the country. So you can proceed to JavaScript. Let's add some JavaScript before we go to CSS. So JavaScript, we're gonna write script tag. So we say script tag, then close. Then under the script tag, this is where we're gonna write our JavaScript code to actually give some functionality to our buttons. So under the JavaScript or under the script tag, let's declare a variable called accordion. So variable accordion equal to document dot get element by class name, because we're gonna grab the class name accordion, this class here. So you're gonna say variable accordion equal to document dot get element by class name. Then the class name is actually accordion this way. Then make sure you put a semicolon. And also let's declare another variable, then call it I, then semicolon. And now we want to iterate through this class name. So we're gonna use a for loop. So for I equal to 0, this is initialization. So we initialize our I to 0. Then our I, as long as our I is less than accordion dot length, we're gonna increment our I as long as the I is less than accordion dot length. Then we proceed calibrates and we say now accordion now with our I, our variable I, then we say dot on click accordion I dot on click equal to a function, put a function, and this function is going to take none of the arguments, and then we say this dot class list dot toggle then toggle is going to take a value called active. So whenever our button is active, this is going to happen. Then we continue and say this dot next element siblings. You can see Kite is suggesting for us, make sure that you have the Kite extension. Under the extensions panel, just come to extensions, then search for Kite this way, then you will install Kite. So let's proceed. Now this dot next element sibling dot class list. You can see Kite is suggesting for us. Then dot toggle, and toggle is gonna take a show. So you're gonna show us actually the document in the DOM after we toggle the accordion icon. And now this is the only JavaScript we need in this design. Now let's go and see what actually is happening in the browser. You can see there's nothing because we haven't added styles. So let's go back to our VS Code and add some styles. Now make sure that this is called an internal styling. I don't want to use external styling, I just want to use this internal. So make sure that immediately after the head tag, that's where we're going to define our styles. So style, that way. So under the styles, we're going to start with a button. Let's style button. So button dot accordion dot, no, we're going to style those ones first. So button dot accordion. Then let's have a background color of this color #EEE. Then our text color, so color of 444. Then cursor is pointer as always, or maybe you can choose what you want to use, but cursor is always reference to pointer. Then padding, let's give it 18 pixels. You can give it anything you want, but if you want to follow mine, it's just okay. Then width of 100%. Then border, actually we don't want to have a border, so border is none. Then text align, we want to align them to the left, that way. Then outline, we don't want to have an outline, so we say none. Then we move on to font size. Actually this is very important. So font size, we can give it 15 pixels. Okay, that's right. Then transition, let's give it 0.4 seconds. Yeah, now let's reload this in the browser. Let's try to reload. Now you can see we have the background color. So it seems everything is working fine. Now let's proceed. Let's proceed with our stylings. Now you can also style button. We are still on the button. So button dot accordion, then dot active, then comma. Also we want to have button dot accordion dot active. No, not active, but hover. So hover. So button dot accordion hover. So you want to hover. when we hover over the button, we want to have a background color of let's have a background color of hashtag not that way, we can have RGB. Let's say RGB color of 206, 102, 102. Now let's see what is happening. As you can see, when we hover over the button, our color changes to RGB 206, 102, 102. Okay, now everything is working fine. Let's proceed with our stylings. Now let's move on to another styling for button. Let's say button dot accordion dot, not dot but semicolon, not semicolon but colon, sorry, button dot accordion colon, then after. So after, we're gonna give it some styles, because we want this we want this to appear in the manner that when we click on the icon here or on this button, we want to display this content. So it means we are also going to hide this content so that we only show it after we click on the button, and the icon, the plus icon, is gonna be placed here. So let's proceed with our styling. So we say button.accordion after, and let me give a comment here and say, actually this variable 02795 represents a plus, sign. So keep that in mind. So we continue and say content, content. Now we give this variable, let's say 02795. Okay, now actually let us see what is this in the browser. You can see that variable represents this icon, a plus icon. Now let's continue styling it. Let's give it some style. So we say font size of, let's say 13 pixels. Then color, let's give it a color of hashtag 777. Then we want it to float right. Now let us see. As you can see, they have floated towards right. Now everything is working fine. Let's proceed with our stylings, and so I can say a margin left. Margin left is 5 pixels. You can give it any pixels you want. And let us view it in the browser. Now we have a margin of 5 pixels on this side. Okay, now let's proceed with our stylings. We move on to a button also, still on the button. So button dot accordion after, hope that is correct, button dot accordion dot colon after. Then let me say a comment here and say this variable 2796 represents a minus sign. Now let us continue. and say content of this variable, call it 2796. Okay, let's save and reload and see what is happening. As you can see, we have a minus sign. Okay, everything is working okay. Now let's move on to the div. As you can see, we have a div with a class of panel, so you're also going to style that. So we say div dot panel, then let us give it some styles. Let's say padding 0 pixels top and bottom, and 18 pixels left and right. Okay, let's save and reload. Now you can see this paragraph has moved 18 pixels. Now everything is working. Let's continue. Now background color, you can say background color of let's say white, and also maximum height of 0, and overflow is hidden, so you want to hide our paragraphs. Now let us see. Now you can see our paragraphs are hidden. Okay, our paragraphs are hidden, sorry. Now let's proceed. Actually, I forgot something here. The minus sign, the class of active, we only want to see the minus sign when we have clicked on the plus icon. So when we click here, you can see a minus, right? And when we click back, we get a plus sign. So let's reload. Now you can see a plus. When you click, you get a minus. Yeah, so everything is working. And let's continue with our styling. Div dot panel. We need a transition. We need a transition of, let's say, 0.6 seconds. Then is in and out. Okay, now let us see. Actually, nothing is happening because we haven't finished our stylings. And we can have opacity of 0. We don't want to see them. Now let's also style the div. So div dot panel, then dot show. Now we want to show our paragraphs. We want to show our paragraphs so that when we click here, our paragraphs are displayed. Okay, now let's continue with our styles and say now opacity is 1. We want to make them visible, so opacity is 1. And max height is let's say 500 pixels. Okay, now let us reload this in the browser. Let's click on the button. You can see everything is working. Cairo is the capital city of Egypt, and it is located in the central region of the country. Then Abuja, also working fine. Nairobi, also working fine. Now, this was all what I wanted to show you in this video, and thank you for being patient and also watching this video up to the end. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Code Essentials KE, and also like our videos. Thank you very much, and I love you all.